Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the BHLC podcast, the Big LIC Comedian Podcast. That's me as your host. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Got a great show for you all tonight. I hope y'all like that intro there. Let me play it again one more time for y'all. See if y'all like it. Let me go one more time.
And I can put you in. I can put you in. And I can put you in. I can put you in.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like some opinions on that's my intro there, my new intro. So I hope y'all like it. Like I said, thank you for tuning into the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast here on July 9th, here, 2022. Like I said, I got a great show for you all tonight. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to send the invite to my guest here so I can get her in here. Thank you for tuning in. First and foremost, I got to thank my sponsors, the Smile Center, 7405 New LaGrange Road here in Louisville, Kentucky, and also All Good Computers, 8101 Preston Highway here in Louisville, Kentucky. But there again, thank you for tuning in to the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, BHLC Podcast. That's the one and only. And make sure you're checking out this podcast on the Big Head Light Skin Comic Facebook Live page. And on YouTube, it's BHLC Podcast. Subscribe. Okay, let me get my guests in here this evening. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. I know I am. Wasn't too bad of a day here in Louisville, Kentucky. It wasn't too bad of a day here today, and we had a great day here. So let me get my guests in here. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah. So I just know that it was a beautiful day here, and hope everybody's doing well today. Had to take care of some light skin things earlier today. Trying to make sure I take care of this body here that God has given me. And I went to the gym and worked all the light skin off of me today. Oh man. Hope everybody's doing all right. And like I said, think about my podcast. I'm going to put that out there first and foremost as I send this invite out. Thing about my podcast, first and foremost, more than anything, is there's no right or wrong. We're just expressing our opinion about different things that's going on with topics that we're talking about. There's no right or wrong. And consider my topics, especially here in Cove and social justice, there's no right or wrong. And there's a lot of violence in our communities and in America, period. Let me just send this to her one more time. And y'all just stay with me because about ready to get started here and get her in here. Like I said, we're living in some times nowadays where everybody, the world is so crazy, but we still got to live. We still got to live by principles and do what's right as hard as it is, because I know a lot of people are doing what's wrong. So we got to do that. So here she is. I got her in here now. So all right, and before I bring her in here, she's a good friend of mine, and I had to have on my podcast because she's doing a lot of big things here in Louisville. But I got to give us a big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast love from all my subscribers and everybody on this platform that's watching this evening. I want y'all to give some love. Yeah, and I got to make sure I pronounce this right. Make sure y'all give love to. I'm gonna let her tell a little bit about herself because I'm not gonna go into that. But I got to make sure I pronounce her name right. I don't want to mess this up being light skinned. Her name is Shay K. Okay, Shay K. I might have messed it up. She's gonna correct me if I did, but y'all give up to my guest. I love her. I got much love for her. Shay K.
Hello. You almost had it.
A little bit.
92%. So I'm gonna give you credit. That's passing.
Okay, all right.
Pretty good though.
Oh, thank you so much for being a part of my podcast and being. I just want to make sure I pronounced it right because I was matter of fact. To make sure I pronounce it right, I know Kimber put it on his page. I was listening to them talking about your new radio show thing you got going on your podcast. And I said, let me make sure I pronounce this right. Shay K. It's Shay K, ain't it?
Yeah.
I got it. See, Shay K, I got it. I've been working on it. I've been doing like spelling bee, working on it.
I appreciate that. Trust me. Because
Yeah,
I get
because I
all
know it's
kind of stuff.
important. Pronunciation is important. I want to make sure I pronounce people's names right. You know, when I bring them on my podcast, I got to make sure I pronounce them right too when I'm hosting comedy shows. That's the last thing you want to do is mess up somebody's name. Because if you do, they're gonna talk about you when they get up on the stage.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But way my podcast work, like I was just telling them, there's no right or wrong. We're just expressing our opinions about different topics and about things in our life here in COVID-19 social justice. And that's what we do. And the way I work with my podcast, before I do anything, I let my guests give a little bit of them, about themselves and their resume, and about what they've been through and what their resume is. So for the people, go on out there and tell them a little bit about yourself, Shay K.
Well, as stated, I am Shay K. Now I am a native of Louisville, but I've been all over. I traveled all over.
Okay.
I own a media company, and under that umbrella is everything I do. Because I believe, like Ray Charles said, own your masters, own your content. That's little old me. But I do radio, television, promotions, production. My company is half marketing, half me. So it really kind of depends on which service you need. But my passion, what I do, what I get paid to do, is I host. And I host everything from concerts. Like right now, I'm hosting the Legends of R&B series concert. That go back to the '90s concerts. I got one of those coming up Saturday. I hosted a comedy show 2 weeks ago, and I normally don't do comedy shows because I'm not a comedian.
Yeah, I heard.
Jokes.
I heard about you. I got a little light skin insight. I heard about you.
First off, I had 2 whole jokes, and they got them that night, and they laughed. I was happy. But the hosting is my passion. I love being on stage. I love a mic in my hand. I also do radio and television. My first show was back in 2016. I literally went on there. There was an article written about me, something that my company had done. It's something I did as a company, rather. And the network had me come on do an interview, call me back for another one, and then they called and offered me a show. So I was here in Louisville and that particular part of that year. And so the network was in St. Louis. And I didn't want to fully move. So they built me a studio here so that I could broadcast every week. And I went on to host the Shay K Woolfolk Show on Truth Network. And I co-hosted African American Talk Radio and Black Wall Street and another show. So I had 3 consecutive shows. I had the number 1, number 2, and the number 3 show on the network. Did that for a couple of years.
Right.
Loved it. And from there, I did the morning show at Power 106 for a little over 2 years, and just recently joined the 103.9 FM family here in Louisville, Kentucky, doing the Shay K Show. And I have a very unique deal with them. It allows me to produce my show my way and stream it out, which I love that. They've been amazing to work with, and I'm not big on radio. Everybody will tell you that. But I will say the Summit Media 103.9 and the entire family of stations has been really good to the Yellow Girl. That's my hashtag the Yellow Girl. That is mine. I own that.
Okay, that's what's up. You got to brand yourself.
I promote concerts. I've hosted Funk Fest. I've hosted stuff. I've been on stage at the Yum Center. That kind of stuff. Once you do it, it's a high you can't replicate that. And anybody who gets on stage, I don't think people understand, if they don't do it, what it's like to have that high. You get off, 2 hours later, you're sitting in Waffle House eating avocado and waffle because you can't come down from that high. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's
the only time people get it are people in the industry.
That's right.
It's just something. There's nothing that compares to it. Like, I'll take the stage over getting married again or something. I
heard that. I heard
that's my passion. But my company also does marketing and branding. I have a very select client list at this point because we're actually in the phase of restructuring the company so I can outsource some things so that I can put all of my energy behind my hosting and being on stage. Because my decision was I wanted to make sure I could do what I love and focus on it so that the stuff that I have to do to make the company whole doesn't make me fall out of love with my passion. So the smart move is to kind of restructure. So I'm in the process of doing that, but we rep some local brands in the city. We do PR for them, and it's a very select list, and that's because they do good business. They're good people. I have this thing called Loving on Louisville.
Right.
I literally created when I launched my magazine back in 2016. And the magazine, CKW, the Shay K Woolfolk magazine. And yes, I named it after me. If Oprah can do it, Shay can.
That's right.
But my thing was, it was about giving a voice to folks who go unheard. We're often told what we're supposed to look like, act like, be like, And then we're still not afforded the opportunity to be on the front of this magazine or on this show or anything, or we're just silenced. So the magazine was my first venture into rectifying that. Then I got my show, and they kind of crossed over because everything I've built, every platform, every portion is still about giving a voice to those who go unheard. My pet peeve is living in a society that dictates, whether your voice matters or not. I am a believer that everyone in this world is a voice and they deserve to be heard. So I felt that my plan and purpose given to me by God was to make sure those voices are heard. And following that passion has been very good to me. I'll be honest. It's just one of those things that comes second nature to me. I love doing it. I have to breathe, sleep, and eat it. Like right now with the launch of my new show, matter of fact, this Thursday, we're taping the second episode. The first one has been so well received. There's a certain high. I
listened to it. It was nice.
And I'm not gonna lie, the lady in me does like seeing herself on a billboard or two. It just does something to me.
That's great. That's part of your brand and let you know where you're coming from.
Absolutely. And I will say this, I still got love for St. Louis. So we're going back there to do some things because I have a massive following there. I do a lot in Cincinnati. I promote with like DC Enterprise and Chris Paul Productions. So I do some major events there. Got one coming up. So I got a lot of love for Cincy. They show me nothing but love when I'm there. So for me, it really is about reaching across the aisle, giving folks opportunity, creating something that, is for that person. The average person, someone walking and working every day, following their dream. I am big on following your vision, following your dream. And oftentimes what happens is people, they have a vision, they have a dream, but there's nobody to champion them, nobody to tell them it's okay that you want to do that. And that's what I do. You just never know. I remember my grandmother told me when I was little, never be nasty to anyone because you never know when you're entertaining an angel.
That's right.
So I talk to everybody. My kids hate it. Ooh, all my kids, my friends, they hate it. Right. My best deals have come just from talking to somebody in the elevator. Right. Because my thing is we're all the same. We're all, we all put our pants on the same. We all, bleed blood, all that good stuff. Sometimes it's about not focusing on the negative, but instead focusing on the positive where we're going. And we can create a change. So I try to always approach the situation with how can I add to it? How can I amplify? How can I make it better?
Right.
How can I take my skill set and let the world see what this person's doing or what this company's doing? And it's been good to me. And I still do that even with the show. You listen to the first episode. Right. The two ladies I had on, one, that's my homegirl, Tracy Davis. Also her campaign, I want her to be elected. I consider her a friend, and same thing with Latoya Bradford. They're actually clients as well.
Great.
But we met when I launched my magazine. I had no money. Everybody that did something for me.
Stepping out on faith. Stepping out on faith.
And she rocked with me. And I've been rocking with her ever since. And then I see the good work that they do. So the reason I did that as the first episode, I wanted to talk about being a woman in power, some of the challenges. But I wanted to give whomever, whether it was female or male, listening, I wanted somebody, some show to give them permission to step out, like you said, on faith. And do what they were designed to do.
That's right.
7 years old. There's still stuff I'm basically discovering about myself.
Right.
I've learned that we kind of go through these phases, cycles in life.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And you being in entertainment, you go through phases in entertainment. You fall in and out of love with it, I bet.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do. It's a give take thing. It really is a give take thing. And the thing about entertainment more than anything is, this is why I tell people, as long as I've been doing stand-up, I've been doing stand-up at least 30 years. Okay, let me just put that out there. Yes. So with that said, and this is about the best way I explain entertainment. You was talking about the natural high you get after being on stage and you get the Waffle House and all that. I told people, I love the art of entertainment. I love the art of stand-up. And what I mean by I love the art of it, this is about the best way I can put it. But I can't do it for free. No, I stopped doing it for free a long time ago. If they wasn't paying people to do it, I would still do it. That's how much I love it. It's not a job to me when you love what you're doing. You get what I'm going at with this? So, and I could tell that you like it because I could tell by your voice, your animation, the way you're talking, that you love what you're doing in entertainment, radio, everything. You're loving it and you're giving it your all. And I can just tell by the way you talking here on this platform here with my podcast. I can tell you into it, which is great because if you talking like and you being like that in entertainment on stage, the people gonna feel what you're saying and doing on stage. So it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And I can just tell you. I'm telling you, I can tell you are really into it, which is great because the thing of it is, the main thing is if you into it, you really love what you're doing. So there's nothing hard about it, nothing like that.
Right.
Now I want to talk about just a couple of things: the pandemic and entertainment. Yeah, I know. Because see that, and it's come. I don't know if you noticed it lately. A lot of people are, still getting cold again, or catching cold and this and that. And it's like they ain't never went nowhere. It's kind of. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there. It never went nowhere. It's kind of like herpes. I said it. It never went nowhere. It's still there.
Yes, you're right. You know what? You're right. It's festering. You're right.
It never went nowhere. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. So, matter of fact, I was talking today to my wife. My wife said she's gonna start wearing her mask more often now because there's so many people out here that's still catching it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be a little more. I got a little bit more awareness with. But let me ask you, has pandemic affected you as far as what you're doing in entertainment, what you're doing?
So I literally can remember the day everything shut down. And I was still doing my morning show at Power 106.
Okay.
But what had happened, things started slowing down. That week before things started kind of canceling. And so I created this, quick, fast, and a hurry show. And I was only going to do like 4 episodes. And I was calling it Off the Air. And it was like, we're going to be off there. Matter of fact, it was me, Eric, Cognac. I had Chaos on there.
Okay.
I still don't know why.
Chaos. We go way back. DJ Chaos, yeah.
Yes, he was on there. Who else did I have on there? Calvin Brown was on, and DJ Quip was my co-host.
Okay.
And everybody's phones kind of started going off.
All right.
What it was, gigs was getting canceled. Things would happen, and it was one of those I didn't know until the show was over, and I was like, "Hey, did y'all see this?" And that collective mood just changed, and I just remember thinking, "Oh crap, what am I gonna do?"
Right.
For the next 3 days, I'm talking. And it was like in a pit. I was like, it ain't gonna never be a concert.
Right.
And from that time I was hosting a lot of concerts and promoting them. And I had to tell my kids, if mommy's not on stage, you're gonna have to eat these cheap nuggets, okay?
So they get chicken nuggets, get nuggets.
Gluten free, because my son here a little bougie. My daughter's on them. Okay. You can't get the gluten free, you're gonna have to eat these 99-cent Kroger dollar.
Right. It's got nuggets on the bag. Right.
This was right before the protest kicked off. So, they were kind of in sync there. But I remember everything getting shut down and then having a conversation with a couple of folks within like that 72 hour. And our conversation was, how are we going to stay relevant? And I was like, ooh, we got to reinvent ourselves. And I remember during that time, nobody had like a plan. It was kind of like everybody was just figuring out. And I remember D Nice did the COVID, quarantine. Club quarantine. And then I remember Chaos started going live. Then Eric started doing the Red Road, and I
remember that. Yeah,
my daily updates. Everybody's genre was different,
right.
But out of respect and love for both of them, because I was like, okay, he's doing this time, he's doing that, I'll do this time. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to watch what they were doing. But what I noticed was everyone was home, didn't know what they were going to do. And people started falling back in love with the visual and the audio of entertainment. They wanted to know what you were doing, why you were doing it. I mean, I would have people tune into stuff, and I'm just sitting there talking about something the kids said. My son is special needs, so that journey is different. Okay. So I have this thing I call Team N. So I'm a big autism advocate. Right. But I was on there telling stories about different things. And I just started to notice that with everything shutting down, everyone either being home, broadcasting live, trying to entertain that way, people not knowing what the next day was going to bring, people became more human during that time.
Sure
they wanted to be more connected. And it was a different type of vibe. And as much as I was like, what am I going to do? Because it's different when you get paid a certain amount to be on stage and you ain't getting nothing on this live.
Like getting food stamps.
Right. I was like, I like y'all, but I ain't getting nothing.
That's right.
Like Cash App, I never did that. So I make this work. But I fell back in love to a different layer.
Right.
I did, because I got to really connect with folks that I didn't know knew me, who paid attention to me. I literally could have dialogue with them. Right. And so I learned a lot about my audience. I learned, what people didn't like, what they don't like, because folks will be real honest. They love to tell you.
They will. They definitely will.
I had one lady tell my nose was too big and I wasn't black. I said, "Oh, you're so mad today. You must got the COVID, baby."
Right.
It was always something.
Right.
it just gave me a different insight. So for me, as much as it shut everything down, it allowed me to appreciate my talent more and then hone some skills. Because at that point, if I wasn't getting paid for it, I'm like, I can get on here and say and do anything I want. If I mess it up, I can delete it at the end.
That's right. Edit it. Right.
Look,
leave I edit. That's right.
And it did. It made me really fall in love with certain parts of my talents. And it showed me that I really had a true love and passion. Because like you said, I was doing it for free. And it was, I looked forward to doing it. I set my clock. Okay, this time I'm going to put on some makeup. You couldn't get our nails and hair done. And for a woman, that was cool. She said, like, you put a hat on as a man. Right. I was looking, I'm like the little curly mixed girl everybody want to fight. So a couple of days, I looked like the little girl I used to be, and I was on her like
half a queen. You was a half a queen some days, huh?
Some days I was like, don't y'all look here. And I remember we were doing one broadcast. You see, I talk with my hands, and I'm talking. Right. And DJ Stacy Broadway jumped on, and she said, how did you get your nails done? Did you break the law? And I was like, shut your mouth. I don't want to because I did. I went got my snuck somewhere, got my nails done. But it was those little things that we couldn't do and we used to take for granted.
Oh, yeah.
And, being on stage, I'll say this. I was one who had started to take it for granted because it was what I did. But it was what I did, wasn't necessarily what I was loving the right way.
Right.
And so COVID made me really fall back in love with
it's right. It's almost like, and I'm going to put this out there because this is where I feel. I'm a very spiritual person. I don't go to church. Let me just say that. But I'm a very spiritual person. But long story short, it's almost like God saying, okay, I'm going to let y'all know who's in control. Yep. But I'm going to see who's willing to stay with me while I'm letting you in control. You get where I'm going at with this? So with this said, that's why I started this podcast. I couldn't get on stage. I couldn't do nothing. And somebody said to me, you know what, man, you have do this. You have a great voice. You have this. Start a podcast. I was like, you know what? Let me start it. I started it in May of 2020, which was the year Cole started. And I'm still going through God's grace, everlasting love. I'm still going. So with this said, but it made me do some real serious things because as much as I love the art of entertainment and being in front of people talking, I had to figure out a way to connect to people. And to be honest with you, and this is what I was talking to Eve. Me and Eve was talking about this one night. He said, Lovis, I would have never thought you couldn't have told me 10 years ago that the world would change to where social media take over what's going on in live entertainment. He said, you couldn't have told me that. I said, yeah, I'm right with you. I said, but everything changes for a reason. And it changes to where you got to just refocus and get into your new chapter of what you're doing. Everything in life has a new chapter. And that's also with entertainment. It's things that have a new chapters, how you accept it and move on with it. And then you can get your voice out there to be heard. If you want them type of people that can accept things and move on and know how to get a new jaru and redo yourself, get a new, you'll be fine. But if you want them people that panic, I can't do it, I'm done, free, I can't do it. Yep. You've got to stay focused in the midst of the whole fire around you. Yes, you got to stay focused. I learned that a long time ago. Like it's something my grandmother told me. I think I said it on the last podcast. I'm going to say it again because it's so deep. She said to me, keep your ears open like you run your mouth.
Ooh, well.
Deep. She said, we always want to run. She said, keep your ears open like you keep your mouth open.
That's right.
And that's deep. And that's what I've always learned for myself more than anything. Because just because you talk a lot don't mean you can't listen a lot. I'm gonna keep I keep it deep.
It was one mouth, 2 ears.
Right, yeah. And that pandemic was, I'm telling you right now, it was deep, and it's still up on us. Who's to say that it might not start over again? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling people, stay focused. Thank you. Stay focused and keep doing what you're doing, and maybe even have a contingency plan because you never know what might come back to hit us. So that's why I had to put that one out there because I knew that was big. Now this one here is kind of what we're doing now. I has let me get this other one off here. I had social media and entertainment, which we'll be doing now, has helped you out as far as what you're doing in entertainment. I know it's big too with your social media.
Well, and it's funny because you're absolutely right. Pandemic made me focus more on what I was doing on social media. A lot of times, even though it's a part of the business, and even my company would do social media management for folks, for me, it wasn't this big thing. Okay. But then when that became the way of communication, so it really impacts how I'm planning stuff now. Even when I did the deal with 103.9, everybody's like, are you going to go back on air traditionally? I'm like, nah, I travel a lot. I get booked. I like my schedule a certain way.
Right.
And also, I wanted to be able to control my content. Now,
Mm-hmm.
corporate radio, you get FCC. It's a whole different. I'm probably gonna get your station fine.
Right.
Don't what come out of my mouth on the right day. When we struck this deal, I was able to use the streaming lane,
Okay.
social media, and still get to do what I love and really, do something great with it.
Okay.
Now, had that happened right before the pandemic, I probably would have been like, no, I gotta
Right.
do there. I gotta do that.
Right.
So it changed how I really look and made me understand how powerful the outlets of social media are.
Right.
And I can honestly say what I'm doing now, when I love it, I'm grateful for it. God can humble you and he can elevate you, and he can also do it at the same time. He can
That's
make
right. That's right.
how he will sit you down and let you know I am God.
Right.
I'm the Omega. And
That's
you
right.
don't have nothing to do but acknowledge it. And it's funny that we're talking this lane because it was really I had to go back through an acceptance of faith.
Right.
I had to work on some things in me, and I'm still working on them, trying to address things.
Right.
But I've had a different appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for the things he's blessed me with.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And that appreciation makes me have a different view of what I'm doing.
Right.
It makes me have a different love, a different desire to do it. And using social media as a way to get the Shay K show even further out is a blessing. I'm also more conscious of what I put on social media. I am very opinionated, if you can't tell.
Right. That's all right.
But I've always been kind of concerned about images. When I was doing my magazine, that was the thing. I always wanted to put positive images because you don't see that enough. And I went through a period kind of during COVID and beginning parts of the year where there was so much negativity that sent me into depression.
Okay.
I never talked about this publicly.
Well, a lot of people went through depression on COVID. Yes.
And I said, my next step, I want to make sure that I'm putting stuff out that uplifts, makes you get a laugh, makes you enjoy your day.
Inspirational jokes.
And it's made me change even the things that, like, I'll go to share an article. And don't get me wrong, my background is media. I've done journalism, done that for years. But even then, I found myself not necessarily wanting to showcase all the negative. I might talk about the article, but we're not going to keep just hammering it into people.
Right.
So it's little things that I've noticed. So social media is very important, but you have to use it wisely. And that is what I'm trying to do. Make sure that I am being a positive asset on social media. And so with the show, if I bring the magazine back, with anything, that is my goal, to make sure I'm a positive addition to the social media.
Right.
I don't want to be the negative gossip queen. I won't say her name. They just yanked her show, but I never wanted to do that. I don't want the weight of the universe on me doing the negative.
And you're right. The thing about social media, I always tell people, you got to respect it. It's so easy to get on here and put anything negative or positive on her. It's so easy. I mean, it's easy. It's like grabbing something. It really is. It's that easy. But you got to respect it in the same avenue, because just as easy as you can put it on, it can easily come back to you and haunt you. So I tell people that. I said, you got to really watch what you put on social media. A lot of times you got people that are fighting. That are fighting because of things they put on social media. They're sitting arguing with another person because of what they put on social media, because this person feels some type of way. But like I always try to tell everybody, you got to remember this: social media is an open forum. You don't have to always agree with somebody, agree to disagree, but you don't always have to agree. Some people feel like my opinion is the one only matter, and mine's always right. Them other people that I don't like because they feel like my opinion is always right. No. It's an opinion. You agree to disagree. That's why you have agree. That's why you have disagree. You agree to disagree. It could be, the social media can be a curse, but also can help you. So you have to understand this gyro with social media. A lot of people, you can use social media, and you should use social media to uplift yourself as well as people and what you're doing in life, as entertainment or whatever. But you also got to make sure you uplift it and using it in the right way, not to negatively drag people down and say the wrong things on here. Because some people, you don't know what people's been through in life. That's why I tell people, it's another thing. I don't know if it's ever happened to you. If somebody put you like this, well, I seen somebody else do it, put it like this. Somebody has stepped to somebody, not knowing what that person's been through, and said some things, and then they sitting there like, oh, well, I didn't know you had autism type of child. I didn't know you had this type of thing. You don't know. You got to watch what you say to people. You got to understand, everybody ain't like you. You don't know what a person's been through and what they're going through. So I always respect the person, even if it's my enemy, which I don't have many. I respect people because of the simple fact you never know what they've been through or what they're going through. And I tell people all the time, So I got into a guy one day at work, and he seen the the dark skin, light skin side of me that day. And we got it. He did. He seen it.
Dark
And
skin,
but the
right.
next day, yeah, dark skin. I said it. And I came back the next day, and I said, look, man, let me tell you something. I said, you don't never know what a person's going through, so you got to watch how you step to me. He said, you know what? Nobody's never said it to me like that. And he said, you know what? I appreciate you coming to me. He said, I was going to come to you, and we hashed it out like men. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was great. But he's got to understand, because I was going through something that was very deep at the time. And for you to step to me like that and say them type of words was not good at that moment, because we all moment to moment. I tell people, I live in the moment. I don't know what tomorrow's promising, but I know what this moment is promising. So that we all moment to moment. But I know social media plays a big part in our lives, and as people that own social media, we got to continue to make sure we respect social media. If you're on social media doing something, please respect what you're doing on social media. Here's another thing too. Let me put this one up. Let's see if I can put it as a ticket. It might just show it though. Family. How has family affected as what you're doing in radio, journalism, what you've done? I mean, I'm put like my family supports me.
Yeah.
And I've talked about my family on stage, even through my hosting, because I've hosted a lot of shows. And let me get back to hosting. I remember you were saying about hosting. I love to host shows. My comedian friend Calvin, he always tells me, Lovis, you are a great host. I said, I appreciate that. I said, but I'm also a great stand-up comedian. I appreciate that. But anyway, long story short, I toot my own horn. But I tell myself, I said, and the reason why I am a great host, Shay K, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I respect the art of it. I respect the comedians who are getting up there doing it, because I know it's not easy. And I respect anybody. If I'm just bringing up a journalist or a radio person, anybody I'm bringing up, anybody, I can be bringing up president. I respect them for coming up there to get up on that mic and talk. That's why I'm a great host. And I respect them for that. That's why I'm a great MC, because I know what it takes to be up there in front of that mic, in front of people. So, but you can go ahead and elaborate a little bit on family there for me.
So I am a mom of 3, grandmother of 2.
Okay.
I'm somebody's grandma. And a lot of times, because if I have to check somebody, I tell them, first of all, somebody's mom and grandma. Y'all can let this light skin and these shows and radios fool you.
That's right.
I don't like mess and drama. I don't do disrespect, because I don't disrespect folks.
Right.
When it comes to my family, I'm very protective.
Mm-hmm.
Like my oldest daughter. And my oldest daughter will be 28. She's married with kids. I have one who'll be 21 end of the year. And then my son, he'll be 12. He has autism.
Okay.
And I have grandkids. Like my daughters want no parts of any type of public life. And I get it. I respect it. My oldest is Catholic. Okay. So I don't put them out there. Where I used to make posts about the kid, I don't do that too much. Folks know my son because of my transparency about his journey with autism. But even that is very calibrated. Now, my mama. Everybody knows my mom is very opinionated. I'm talking right. Yeah, and mom is 73. Mom, I love my mother. Take care of my mother. I am an only child. I'm super spoiled. Okay. But my mother is friends with a lot of folks. Like, right. Everybody knows her. But even then, I still am protected. My family, my household is very supportive of what I do. And I'll be honest, my kids are not impressed by anything I do. Mm-hmm. They ask my son in school, and they'll ask my daughters, But I remember, but my son's teacher called me. They said, "What did your mother do?" He said, "I don't know. She talks to people and they pay her." Right. So the teacher called, and that's what the radio said. She said, "Okay, I thought I knew you." I was just like, boy. So I asked my kids, I was like, "Hey, I'm doing so and so." And they look at me like, "Okay, well, mama, what's for dinner? Are we gonna order dinner?" Because for them, I'm mama. That's just what I do. So it's very humbling when you go home and tell your kids, "Hey, I hosted the red carpet at the Trifecta, or I covered it, and I was talking to P. Diddy," and they looking at me like, "Okay, girl, we out of Pop-Tarts," Right. My kids are my humbling, my whole household, except for the dog. The dog thinks I'm great.
Right. They love unconditionally for real dogs.
But they're very supportive, but they're very humbling at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
And so I remember taking my kids. I said, "Come on, we're gonna drive to Cincinnati. I want y'all to see this." I was so pumped when my show launched, and I said, "Look, there's a billboard." And my son said, "How long do we gotta look at it? Do we go to McDonald's?" My feelings was hurt because okay, never mind. And I literally drove off like, you know what? Just never mind. Come on. Right. Because I realized to them why I belong to the public in a certain way. To them, I'm their mama. But it also humbles me and makes me know I am their mama. That's right. That doesn't change, and that they are priority number one. And I tell them I do this so you'll have a better tomorrow, so you'll have a better future. Right. But even in everything I do, I'm their mama.
That's right.
I tell folks, I'm fun, I'm cool, I'm gonna get on stage. Right. But when it comes to you can't disrespect my family, you can't disrespect my kids, my mama, I don't do well with disrespect, but for them, I'm super protective.
Right.
And how I deal with keeping them out of the public eye is just to kind of keep them out. I'll tell, little curse stories that happen. Like my son did something hilarious yesterday.
Right.
Then I have to be conscious of what I'm putting out.
Right.
Because I've had people attack my kids. I've
I've
gone through that.
Right.
That don't feel good. And that's like you said, you need to be careful how you talk to folks you don't know. Because see, that's a different me.
Right.
Now you got they mama. What you say about my baby?
Right.
When I talk to you, you said something about my baby on stage. It's that type.
Right.
And I don't think people think when you're in entertainment that every part of you belongs to them.
Right. Sure do.
And it doesn't. And so sometimes people, I've had situations where I've been out. Somebody said, "Oh, I heard your show. I saw this candy," and I'm like, "Well, I'm eating with my family. I'm eating with my kids." And they're like, "I don't care about them kids." And so then I go into mama bear mode.
Right.
And, like, hold up. So I have to remind people, I'm their mama and I'm the grandma. I'm first.
Right.
I'm my mother's daughter first. Because that's what I protect. So if I had to give up entertainment to protect them, then that's something I have to do. Luckily, God has blessed me not to have to do that.
Right.
So my family's supportive. I adore them, and I do. And my kids go with me on the road. My kids are worked into my contracts. My mom goes. The dog goes.
Dog got to go too.
I'll never forget to go all the way to Minnesota. I was like, we're not flying because COVID was still happening.
Right.
Yeah, we stayed there for over a week, and I covered, and I put them up somewhere. All of us went, even the dog. But I take them with me because I feel like you get a better me because I don't have to worry about that that's going on at home. So my kids are very well traveled. My son is the king of, do they have room service?
Right. He wants to know.
I'm going to take my luggage out.
I need first class.
And my daughters, because they came up before mama was in entertainment. So they're just like, boy, he gets to do everything. I'm like, he's been on the road with me since he was 2. Right. So for him, it's just, that's normal. And I'm grateful. I feel like God blessed me to be able to do that, which is why I'm so protective of how I do things. Because what I do also allows me to raise them a certain way and do certain things with them. And that's very important to me. My family, they motivate me.
That's great.
They keep me wanting to be on this earth.
That's what they should do. It's called love.
Even when the world's going crazy, they're that grounding thing.
Right.
And so I'm grateful for them, even though they were getting on my nerves about an hour before I got on here. My son was sending me some snacks. I was like, you know what, you little rude little boy. Because he was, are we going to get some snacks? I was like, look, when I get through, I'll call you. And my son, they said he would never walk, talk, learn, do nothing. Okay. My son, he's had multiple neurosurgeries. He's had his legs repaired. Okay. Been years in a wheelchair. But he has defied all of what they said he would do.
That's what's up.
He is my walking miracle. But he also doesn't have filter.
Right.
So he said things that made me say, and he's like, what is the truth?
I think he can do that because he's been through it. So he's allowed to have that type of filter. But family is everything. You are right on it. That's like my mother's birthday is Monday, and she's my queen. She be 83. And I'm not the only child, but let me just say this.
You the baby.
You can say I'm a mother's son, and I am, and I love my mother. There's nothing I wouldn't do in the world for my mother at all in the world. And without her, there would not be a big light skin comedian. I would not be sitting here telling you I'd do anything in the world for my mother. I mean, for real. Let me stop before I get too emotional because she has done way more than she's supposed to for this big head. So long story short, but mothers are very important, and especially in society to us men, really, really important. I remember when Eric Kimbrough was supposed to do a podcast with me and Meech, and that same day it was on my podcast. He couldn't do it. That's when his mother passed. So I get it. When your mother is like, I can't explain mother-son love. You just have to be in it to understand it. You know what I'm saying? So I get it when you're talking about your family and all that and how much you love. I love my family. Now, let me just say this. You're hitting right at home because my family was getting on my nerve. I got on her. I ain't going to speak too loud because they ain't too far away. Sure, they was getting on my nerves, so I had to move my podcast up here. But long story short, it's I don't want to call it love-hate relationship. I want to call it love, somewhat a little bit hate relationship because you love them, even though in the midst of them being mad at them, you still love them because they family. And I see my blood in them. I see it in my son and my daughter who are still home with me. Lord knows I would love to try to let's make a deal and send them there somewhere with somebody else. with these kids. It used to be a time when kids would leave at 18. They stay till they almost 40 years old getting AR2. That's where it works now because of today's society. But other than that, I really do. I love my family. My family is my support. My family is everything. It's the reason why I keep going. It's the reason why I keep doing what I'm doing. And they support me too in my shows and anything I'm doing, my podcasts and everything. They really support me. So, and I appreciate that. And I always tell them I love them. If there ain't nothing else I do. Like I was telling somebody on the podcast a couple podcasts ago. I said, if I truly, whether you're a family or not, if I really love you, I'm gonna tell you when I see you out there. If I come to you out the show and hug you, say I love you, because I don't know if that's the last time I'm gonna see you. I always tell people now if I don't like you, I just hug you. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, hey,
but
I'm just saying, like, let me just go.
I want that because then if something do happen to me, they say, well, I remember the last thing he said to me was he loved me. So that's why I try to keep like. But family is very important, and I think you got to have whenever you're doing something, entertainment, anything entertainment, it's got to be somebody in your family that has been your rock. I don't care who it is, auntie, grandmother, niece, or whatever. Somebody has been there for you. So let me I'm going to you on this one here. I'm gonna put you on the spot here on this one. And I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh, you start smiling. No.
Well, let me see if I can put on the I'm gonna see if I can put on the ticker here. Yes, something people don't know about you.
Put my readers back on. Hold up.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna put it back up here at the top here. Let me see it. I'm gonna put it right there. So you can see it. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Let me get rid of this other one, family. But yeah,
some people don't know about me.
Yeah, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Know this, but a lot of people don't know because I'm real funny about. I'm a strong believer that the right hand should know what the left hand's doing.
Okay.
I believe that God sends you out to do things. So there's a lot of things that I do that I never want people to tell about because I am the biggest crybaby, bleeding heart that you'll ever meet. And I've had some folks recently talk about, oh, you put on this tough exterior, but you're real sensitive. I won't say his name, but you done said it twice. And we were talking about that. I am a crybaby. I am easily hurt. I'm one of those people. If I love you, I love you. If we're friends, we're friends. I don't take that blessing lightly. So I'm super, super sensitive. And my feelings Yeah, I might not say that. I might go home and cry. You might get a mad text or something.
Right.
But I wear my emotions on my sleeve because if I pull up to the light and I look over and there's somebody standing underneath, I start crying and give it. And my kids are like that. So I know I've been conned a few times. I'm pretty sure at this point because I just don't say no. I'm like, oh God, there's something to eat here. The kids will be like, oh my God, he didn't have gloves. Now we gotta go to Walmart, buy him gloves and socks. In the city and find them. We went there. My mother's like, there you go, get the baby some socks. I am super sensitive, and my heart easily breaks for other people. I don't like to see people hurt, and I really go for the underdog. So I am truly a big old crybaby.
Well, that's I mean, but that's who you are. I mean, there's some people didn't know about you then, but that's why I tell people really don't think about me that people don't know because I know my stage name is Big Head Light Skin Comedian, but my real name is Lovis Brown, which is love is involved in that. I try to love people. I try to love people, but some people make it hard. and the thing people don't know about me is I love you even in spite of what you do to me. Even if you do something harsh to me, I still love you because I know God still loved us. He hung on the cross for us. So I have to love you still. Now I might treat you differently. I might not handle you with I will handle you with a long hand spoon, but I have to be different with that now because and times we live in now truly different. I got somebody say, somebody said, thank me later. Okay. Somebody sent me something crazy. I'll just read one of the comments. But I just know that the thing about me more than anything, I try to love people. I really do, regardless if they don't love me or not. And that's the thing people probably don't know about me. And I wear my character just like you on my sleeve. I wear everything on my sleeve, my job, everything on me. You know what I'm saying? So when you see me, it's what you get. But, in that same breath, though, I'm also very protective of me and my family too. In the same breath, so, and let me give a big shout out, to my mother, Doris Brown. Like I said, her birthday be July 11th, which would be Monday. She'd be 83 years old, and I'm so grateful to have her as my mother. I couldn't ask for a better mother in the world. So now we're going to go talk. I'm going to talk about this real quick. You're just a little bit older. Well, no, let's talk about this here because I was going to talk about that, but I'm going to go into this. this is going to probably really, it's really these two. I want to go with these both of these two, with violence and community in America. And
Ooh.
it's big. It's big. I know it is. And all I'm going to say is, because me and Brad, I had Brad Harrison on my podcast, and I told him, I said, I don't have the solution. I said, but I do know this. I don't have the solution to this. I don't. Shay K, I do not have a solution, but I do know this. I do know if we love better and start taking care of each other better and stop being hateful towards each other, that could help. I said, but other than that, I don't have the answer to this, because we live in such a society that is so messed up right now. We don't know if we're coming or going. You got just kids just shooting up places for no reason at all, because of the color of your skin or because of some type of belief or whatever the case may be. And now we just live in such crazy times right now. So I don't have the answer to this, but I do know love could be part of the solution. I do know that. So what's your elaborate a little bit on that for me, on that balancing community in America?
Well,
I know it is.
when it comes to violence, what's happening in the community is, I think, is a result of us not having the love of God.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, kids, if we did something wrong, there was somebody in the community who checked you before your mom heard about
it. Yep.
And I will say that that's changed. And because that's changed, our communities have changed. Our neighborhoods have changed. And I really think that's a huge part of the issue, a huge part of what's wrong, a huge part of people not loving each other, not wanting to be around each other the same, not having that love of God. And so for me, I think that that's the issue. That's really what's going on. We don't have the same love of God that we had when we came up. I'm 47, I'll be 48 this year.
Okay.
And for me, I can remember if you did something, somebody in your community saw you long before you got home.
And told your parents. You got a couple whoopings on the way home. I know, I get it.
I'm saying, we don't have that now.
No,
so
we don't.
I just think that's one of the big differences.
Yeah, and you're right. It's a big difference, because we don't embrace young people like we used to. That's like if I remember let me just go back. And back in the days, you've seen some young kids doing something anywhere near wrong, or doing something. I was like, one day where I live at, next door, my neighbor got this basketball court. Okay, and he don't mind the kids playing, but the number one rule was only time they could play was when he was at home. Okay. So I pulled up one day, and it was about 10 kids back there. I mean, 10. They back there just balling, having fun, doing everything. He wasn't home. Now, as a parent, I'm sitting like, man, I know he told him this. So I can either take a blind out of this, or I can go say something. So I went and said something, because you got some parents who are scared to approach the youth nowadays.
Yes.
And I didn't care. I just had to reap the repercussions. And I went and told them, and they all left. They all left. So, but a lot of times as parents, we are scared sometimes to even approach the young people, because we live in such different times now. And that's part of us getting back in our community, approaching, because we don't know what we approaching to. But I'm not scared to approach a young person if I feel like they're doing something that they was told not to do. You know what I'm saying? And I have no problem telling them, because I'll be like, look, I know your parents wouldn't want you doing this, and I'm not going to put my hands on you, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm sure that he did not want you doing this. And I will let them know. And that's something we got to get back to. And we're scared to do all that type of stuff. I wanted to talk about that because that was real. That's real big. And this is one of my favorite ones. I put together here a while back, and I just can't get rid of it. Here today, gone tomorrow. Love, here today, gone tomorrow. Life, here today, gone tomorrow. And money, here today, gone tomorrow. That pretty much sums up everything in life.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree. And I've had multiple conversations, and I've actually made quite a few posts about that, because I said, we don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. We don't know
That's right.
what tomorrow brings. So tell the people you love them, fix problems, just do what you need to do to make sure that you've left a good mark. And that's been very important to me here lately. And that's something I'm really striving to do, is make sure that I leave a good mark, a good legacy, and that I treat people with respect, and that I let them know that God, for me, He's the answer. He's the only answer.
That's it. You're right. He's the only answer. And you're right. I tell people all the time, I'm going to elaborate on each one. I'm here today, gone tomorrow. Love. That's why I don't take love for granted. If I love you, and there's all different type of loves. Let me just say that first and foremost. It's a different type of love, but love is love. If I love you, I mean it. I say it, I mean it. I don't take that for granted, love. I really don't. And it can be here today, gone tomorrow. And it really can be. And because I know I'm speaking from experience, I'm divorced too. Second of all, life definitely could be here today, gone tomorrow. Because we think, oh, I got till next week. Oh, I got plenty of time to do this and that. No, if you can take care of it that day, take care of it that day. Because tomorrow's not promised. And money, let me say this about money. Money's the root of all evil. This is what this is about the best way I could put money. Yeah, do you need money? Yes, you do need money to at least eat, food, shelter, transportation. But do you need money for extra stuff like $500 pair of shoes or $600 pair? No, not like that. Yeah. See, guys, I give you what you want, not what you need. So with that said, that's why I tell people I don't let money rule my life. Like I told you earlier, I love doing this. I love doing stand-up. Even if I wasn't getting paid, I still would do it because I love it. You don't let money rule you. You make the money. Don't let the money make you. And I tell people, yes, you got to have it. I understand. And everybody wants it. And we live in this type of world today. But you still do not let money make you. If you just do your life and stay busy, that's something my father, that's another thing my father told me. My father told me, look, he said, the main thing about being a man and being respectful is just be who you are. He said, and stay busy doing something positive where you're getting some money. He said, in the right way. He said, if you keep your life busy and you're always doing something, you have everything you need. The money will come. You don't have to worry about it. So just do what you're supposed to do and stay busy. And that's pretty much it with money. That's pretty much it on this. I'm so glad to have you this evening on my podcast. I'm so glad.
I'm honored and I appreciate it more than you know. I want to make sure that I acknowledge that you took time out to invite me on your platform. It means a lot to know. I appreciate it.
I want you, before we sign off, I want you to tell everybody where you at, how to get in touch with you. Because on this platform, I want everybody to know where you at. Because I'm going to run this podcast again. So it's getting recorded. So I'll run it again. And what I'm saying to you is put your platform out there. How everybody can get in contact with you as far as they want to use you as a host somewhere or whatever they want to do. So
well, I tell you what, the hub for all things Shay K is shayk.org, CHEAK.org. You can go to my social media from there. You can watch the shows. You can book me. You can get more information. But shout out to Calvin Brown, making sure I had a great website designed. But make sure that you go to shayk.org.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I want to say this before I get off here. Make sure you subscribe to BHLC Podcast. Subscribe. Okay. My next podcast is second Saturday in August. I don't know the exact date, but please tune in. And whatever you do, I try to leave this podcast every time with something positive. I always tell people, be a better person than you was yesterday.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. Be a better person you was yesterday, because yesterday's gone, today is here. So be a better person you was yesterday. With that said, I appreciate you being on my podcast. Y'all keep tuning in to the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. I really appreciate having you, Shay K. You keep doing what you're doing. I will be following you, and definitely, you never know. I'll probably run into you out there somewhere hosting. I know I will, between me or Eric or whatever. So I'm glad to have you. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll be listening to your new podcast and radio thing too. I'll be listening to it and support it as always. Keep being yourself, queen, and just keep doing what you're doing. Us light skinned people got to stick together.
Yes, we do. So much. I appreciate it.
No problem. You have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed up, and much love to you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay. See you later, Queen.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And I can put you in. I can put you in. And I can put you in. I can put you in.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.